Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's another Travel Mod broadcast here from the Destinations International in town for 2024. I'm delighted to have Kristin in front of me, and she is a person that's been heavily involved. She's the big brains behind a new set of tools called Wayfinder. And Wayfinder is designed to help destinations find their way towards destination stewardship and away from destination marketing. So, good morning, Kristin.
Good morning, Graham.
How are you doing?
Yeah, doing great, thank you. Another lovely day here in Tampa.
Yeah. Tell me briefly what Wayfinder is about. Where does it come from? What does it do?
So you were almost right in your introduction there, except we're not asking destinations to move away from destination marketing, but to include other things around the destination marketing role that they do that is so important. And in this day and age with tourism, we're seeing so much change occurring to the industry. You've got communities that are pushing back on over-tourism, such as Barcelona last week, where tourists were being targeted by community who are against over-tourism. You've got climate change effects. You've got community impacts such as housing not being available or pricing being pushed right up. There's a lot of negative impacts from tourism as well as the really positive ones. So if a destination organisation takes a stewardship approach, they become much more mindful of the holistic tourism picture. And the Wayfinder is a destination management framework that helps them to approach their destination from an economic, social, cultural and environmental perspective, as well as keep doing the great things that they're already doing today.
It's a really interesting area, isn't it? Because it's obviously for most people involved in tourism, it's necessary. But secondly, it almost goes beyond the boundaries of what would normally happen for a destination marketing organisation and involves pseudo-political decisions and needs strong leadership. So, for example, in many cities, and you've mentioned the Barcelona one with the spraying of the water, they're moving towards banning second home ownership and temporary accommodation. Is that something? How do you get across that in a non-political organisation like Destinations International, and indeed your own company, Miles?
Yeah, so the role of the destination organisation is really broadening quite rapidly now, and they can't influence, they can't change things themselves often, but they can influence a lot. So they can influence things, they can advocate for them, they can partner towards things, and then of course they can lead some things as well. Those sort of policy areas are definitely areas where destination organisations can be championing the policy that's required to make the changes that are needed in the destination to help manage it better. I think we've all got to the point now where we see a lot of growth is not that healthy on the community. And if that growth isn't managed, then it definitely is going to have negative community impacts.
And with all of that going on, I mean, during COVID, I did quite a lot of interviews with destinations, and almost to every single one of them, they said, "Yeah, when we come back, it's all going to be about community involvement, destination stewardship, yada yada yada."
Mm-hmm.
As soon as we got out of it, we're back to we've got 10,000 new bedrooms, we've got this, we've got more tourists than we've ever had before. Do you see that? Do you see any waning of that with the introduction of these tools, but also a new set of thinking?
Yeah, so I agree with you. We all wanted to come back better, but we did all come back pretty much the same way that we did before. And it's hard to create new patterns and work in new ways. So the Wayfinder is absolutely designed to give you a framework to work towards better outcomes for your community and your visitors as well. A thriving community is a great place to visit. If it's a great place to live, it's always a great place to visit. It's not always true the other way around though. So the Wayfinder has been designed, I was too a destination leader, so really understand the issues and the opportunities in that role. And this has been designed by industry, for industry, to use exactly for that point to make that transition, give them the how, and then give them a tool to help manage towards it and see their progress over time. So we can't fall back to our old ways.
And interesting, this is obviously you have almost like a pilot going out with a destination in Canada, one in New Zealand, a very large one in the USA. Have you found in discussions resistance towards this way of thinking? Because certainly in some countries, and we might be in one right now, that the pursuit of profit and expansion is pretty much it's gospel, and to go away from that is a big cultural change.
Yes. So yes, this won't be for everybody right now, but the reason that Miles has invested in the Wayfinder, and Wayfinder is a separate entity, but Miles has powered it, is because over the last 7 years, Miles has wanted to get ahead of the problems that destinations are facing or are going to face. There is a huge amount of destinations who are very interested in taking a stewardship approach. And then there are many who are going to continue to do it the way that they're doing it now, but we'll get early adopters, and then there'll be a tipping point where the mainstream will be so impacted by the various social, cultural, environmental things that are coming at them that they're not going to be able to ignore it any longer. And even for places that are very driven by a bed tax, for example, and maybe commercial sector, those hotels, they're built in areas that climate change is going to have a huge impact on, often on the coast. So there's a huge amount of infrastructure investment that someone's going to need to be thinking about what happens if.
Yeah.
And if they lose their social license to operate in a place, and we start getting visitors who are being targeted by water guns, that impacts everybody's commercial success. And Wayfinder isn't about saying don't make money. Economic prosperity is one of the modules within it. It's hugely important, but it needs to be in a balanced, managed way.
Good. Final question. I know you're a busy lady. Do you think that the Wayfinder tools are applicable to mobile destinations? And by that I mean some of the cruise ships now have more people on them than a lot of Caribbean islands, for example. And the community could be the staff that work on it, the services that support it. Have you tried any of that?
We've actually met with them just here at Destinations International.
Well, there you go then.
And the Wayfinder is built on a platform, a New Zealand platform actually, and it's easily customizable. So if the content within this particular one, which is aimed at destination organisations, needs to be tweaked to apply more to the cruise industry, then that's something that's really easily done.
Good. Well, it all sounds very good stuff, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.